council meeting. I want to talk about 3 issues, if I can. First, on the senior and community recreation facility, one of the items that was mentioned last night is that the cost or operational elements information is anticipated, notice I say anticipated and qualify this, is anticipated to be available in July. There was a discussion that the prior council had on the city's financial contribution to this project, and I remember that discussion well. That's all I'm going to say. I remember that discussion very well. And on reflection, I think we need to start using this time between now and July, or whenever the cost parameters on Plan 2 are coming out, to start having another discussion about what the city can do financially to support the project and to bring this project to fruition. You know that I feel strongly, personally, without being disqualified or biased, that I believe in this project. And I am very happy to see that the city and the Recreation Park District are moving forward together. And my view, personally, is that to a large extent, both entities are serving the same constituency. We don't have the numbers yet, but we know they're going to be substantial. The Plan 2 cost was estimated to be somewhere around $30 million, and that was just, that was a really rough cost. And that's going to be refined substantially during this pre-design phase of the project. But let's just assume, for sake of discussion, that the capital cost of this project would be 75% of that, or $22.5 million if my math is right this time of night, which who knows. That number is substantially beyond what the council offered to contribute in cash and what PV Rec and Park District, I'm aware, can contribute. And I get that, and we have to be, the city council has to be mindful of the money that it's putting in, et cetera. And we have to do this in a fiscally prudent manner. In my view, there's going to be a real need to incur debt to have this project go forward. And so how do you get there? I would like to request that staff prepare and agendize a report to the council, that a report that details what financial options or alternatives we ought to be thinking about in the context of this report. And I don't think it's too early for that. Specifically, I would request an analysis of a formation between the city and the Recreation and Park District of a joint powers authority for the establishment of a public financing authority under the Government Code, and specifically Section 6546 of the Government Code. And in addition to that, any other joint financing instruments that would, one approach would be to apportion the debt incurred by the two entities or by the joint powers authority itself, but you would be apportioning the respective debt burdens in an appropriate way, and I'm not going to go into it beyond that, but to talk about that. And then there are other approaches as well that I've heard, including a potential sales tax or a stream which is dedicated to the project. My view is ultimately, the city and the district are going to move forward together, and I think the city is going to contribute cash and need to participate in the financing. So there is precedent for JPAs issuing revenue bonds. I don't know that a revenue bond is appropriate in this instance. I'm not sure that's the appropriate bond instrument here. I have to think about that. There may be other mechanisms, and we can talk to a financial analyst. Anyway, I think we should start thinking about that now, and I would request staff, assume if there is agreement on the part of the council, to do that, to come up with a report that we could start discussing.